JJ's cryptic corner where the coins keep turning, logging now, the future's burning. JJ's cryptic corner, JJ's cryptic corner. Pixels glow, charts flow, crypto whispers, secrets show. He cracks the code on this winding road. JJ's cryptic corner, JJ's cryptic corner, JJ's cryptic corner, JJ's cryptic corner. JJ's cryptic. Tune in, lean back, grab your coffee, hit the track. JJ's live, don't be late. Cryptic wisdom, seal your fate. JJ's cryptic.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Happy Thursday. How's everyone doing today? Guys, Bitcoin. Hey, what's going on, guys? Currently trading at $89,859.06. However, silver up 2.61% on the day. Current record high, which it just made in this current 4-hour candle, $99.01. 1.5 pennies, technically. This thing is probably going to $100. We're probably going to see over $100 silver within the next 24 to 48 hours, if I had to guess. Not a financial advisor. Don't lose your entire life savings trying to bet on something like that. But these moves are insane. What's going on, Philly? Jay Shear 2.0. Philly said because it's a bear market. Jay Shear said facts. Philly said, hey, buddy. Yo. JJ, I love the music, but knock off the vanity stuff. It's JJ's cryptic corner, blah, blah, bloop, bloop. What's the vanity stuff? What's the vanity stuff? I don't know what the vanity stuff is. Okay, let's see. Yeah, gold and silver just shredding. There's no stopping them. It's getting out of hand. Bitcoin 89,835 and 63 cents. Let's go refresh our liquidation heat map and see where we're at. Okay, it worked today. Very cool. That's a good sign. We've got weekend liquidity, it seems. What is that? That's weird. Tomorrow's not a holiday, so that's like extra strange. We got a big cloud right here. $90,067. 90,067. And then the top, I guess I'll go all the way up here. 91,375. I'm curious as to why it looks like weekend liquidity to me. 88,693. Should I do this before the stream? Maybe I should do that from now on. 88,301. And the bottom of the bottom, we've got right there 87,385. Okay, so that's our current cloud, and we are very much trapped in between those two numbers. Philly said the vanity stuff is hearing your name in the song. Bro, that's weird AF. I didn't make the song. I didn't make the song, man. And I think that the singing is what makes it good. Vanity. I think it's narcissism is what you're looking for. Okay. Bitcoin up 0.29% on the day. Currently trading at 89,815. Yeah, we got liquidation points above and below. We are way closer to the one above, which leads me to think that we're probably not going to hit it. We are sitting above our moving average on the RSI. We got a green dot on the momentum wave pointing to the upside. Has struggling to get above 90K again, which is not great. Dominance is still pumping, I suppose you could call it. We've been kind of trading sideways since we got above 59.5, which has played as support. Do we have enough momentum to break back above 60, or are we going to reject? A rejection would be ideal, but we'll see what happens. ETH up 0.29% on the day, currently trading at 29.61 and 31 cents. We got our trend line here, which is pretty relevant. And what I like is we broke below it and potentially bounced off of 28.61, which is a very prominent point of confluence based on previous price action that we have specifically made it purple so that we could remember it. Green dot on the momentum wave, point to the upside. RSI is sitting above the moving average, which is good. We're holding above that. It does look like we got potential for continuation to the upside. We'll see if this ends up being a W or not. I like the wick back here. Not so much right here. There's not really any bullish momentum signs as we speak. But I'm not really mad at what we got. Volume looks good. We kind of crawled out of the Greenland news. And I don't know if Trump like backpedaled because of the threat to sell like US bonds and stuff like that. I have no idea. I don't know what's happening. It seemed very quick this time. Usually they wait a week or two. So I'm curious as to whether or not our little playbook is going to happen with the market going one way and then us having to wait for it. I think it's on the S&P or the NASDAQ. Yeah, it's on the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ fractal looks really good. We'll get to that in a minute. Solana's up 0.09% on the day, currently trading at 128.57. Billy said, JJ, you need to embrace another bear. Remember the million that you made last time? Don't you want to see $30? I don't want to see $30 Solana. But if it happens, it happens. I feel like I've embraced the bear. I know that we're in a bear market. I just don't know that it's going to last 12 months. But that's my opinion. We're already October, November, December, January. We're 4 months in. We're going on month number 5. So technically, we're almost halfway through. Which is crazy. 4 months would be a quarter. No, it wouldn't. 3 months is a quarter. 4 months is a third. Ooh. Okay, we're already 33% of the way through this bad boy. Let's go. All right. Solana, 128.51. We're barely hanging on to this neckline right here. What's interesting is we got kind of a symmetrical triangle thing going on right here. I kind of see that right here. Hopefully we don't break down out of that one, but it's possible. There's also one right here that we broke up out of. Very triangle-based movements on Solana, which is interesting. So we're holding our neckline, legacy neckline that goes way back to like, actually back here, September. It goes way back to September. And 128.43 RSI looks good. This is an important level to hold. If we break below this, then I'm fully expecting $100 Solana. So I guess we need to be fully prepared for that possibility, because it's definitely on the table for sure. Let's see. Oh yes, I have a poll. I do have a poll for the chat. Total 3 is up 0.1% on the day. Currently trading at 844.65. RSI looks good, set above the moving average, red dot of the momentum wave. I don't know if it applies to this. The fractals are both in shambles, but we'll see if we climb back up and recouple. As of right now, it's a nothing burger, so we're going to leave them alone. My slightly bullish bounce guess so far is intact. We did actually bounce off of 800 billion, and so if we break below that, it's going to get pretty fugly. But if we hold that, then I will claim the title of genius. Let's get to our poll. Poll time. We've got why is Bitcoin flat while gold / silver moon? Rotation. Money moving to metals. We've got Bitcoin is a coiled spring. Bullish. We've got market waiting for Fed, macro. And we've got metals are the new lead. BTC bearish. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the poll in the chat. I asked you guys, why is Bitcoin flat? Well, gold and silver moon. You got rotation, money moving into metals. Bitcoin is a coiled spring, bullish. Market waiting for Fed/macro, or metals are the new lead. Bitcoin is bearish. All right. Next, we've got talked about total 3 so far, holding that $800 billion psychological level. We have yet to really solidify anything above 900 billion since we got down here. So that's going to be the next level to conquer as of right now. And we've talked about this 1,000 times. We zoom out, total 3, total 2, and total crypto market cap. We get a pump, dump, choppy sideways breakout, pump, dump, choppy sideways breakout, pump, dump. As of right now, it seems like we're in the middle of a choppy sideways breakout based on previous price action. Now, there's a very clear, I guess, dragging out of this price action. Is it going to take longer to go up more? I have no idea. Is it going to eventually pull back for the longer term? That's entirely possible. I will say, if we are in a bear market and Bitcoin topped out and everything's pulling back right now for like bear market bottoms, like previous bear market, not doing a very good job. We're 33% of the way there. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but usually whenever Bitcoin goes into a bear market, it goes pretty quick. Pretty quick. So, that's just my opinion. And again, that doesn't mean that it's not going to happen this time. That just means that it's different if it does happen that way. ADA, currently trading at 36.02. Holding 36 is going to be important here. If we lose that, then we're probably going down to 32.71. Potential for a little baby head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulder right there. I'm liking the wick so far. Volume could be better. RSI sitting above the moving average. We do have a confirmed green dot on market cipher right here at the Pico low. So there's possibility for a nice size push up there. RSI testing the moving average as support. Red dot on the momentum wave point to the downside. Money flow is negative. Billy said we need to know what the $8 Solana is this bull market, or this market. What's going to 25x the next bull? I don't know if anyone can really figure that out. I definitely don't think we're getting no $8 Solana though, or anywhere near anything close to that. We might have pulled back as much as we're going to in this bear market, and we might just trend sideways for the next 6 months, 9 months. Honestly, I think that would be worse than us dumping. I think I'd rather us dump. Snack is up 0.51% on the day, currently trading at 0.0007681. Big fat red candle here, down 5.93%. Just in this red candle alone. RSI, let's see, bearish cross over the moving average, so point to the downside. Potential for further correction is there for sure. Red dot on the momentum wave, also point to the downside. We'll see what plays out. That was my last level of support on Snack, so we might actually get some pretty angry prices here soon. It looks like 59.6 is the next possibility. Yeah, see, it has never really been this low. Let's go 0.0006. Yeah, let's see if that holds as support. That is like the last frontier right there. If we lose this, which it looks like we're in the middle of losing it. Midnight's down 0.45% on the day. I talked to you guys about this one already. We're really heavy rejections from 64. Breaking below 54 is going to be pretty ugly. 5 is going to be its last line of defense. If it loses that, then this thing's going toward a little too close, in my opinion, to its launch price. And I'm not a fan of anything that retraces all the way back to its launch price, because at that point, why did you buy any? So we'll keep an eye on it. It does look like it's slowing down though. It might be doing a little bowl shape and a potential turnaround. I don't know how fast it's going to happen. RSI did get a bearish cross over the moving average, point to the downside, and we got a negative money flow. Negative money flow since January 5th. Red dot on the momentum wave also pointed to the downside on market cipher. Volume could be better, but this is specific to OKX. XRP is currently trading at 191.71. Down 0.34%. Derek said, "Sup, J Jizzle?" What's going on, Derek? Yeah, XRP 191. rejected 196. So we broke below 2, rejected that, broke below 196, rejected that. Are we going to hold 184 as support maybe and then continue back up? I have no idea. We do have a confirmed green dot here as well on Market Cipher. We'll see if that results in anything other than this, 3.61% candle. Big deal. We're still above the moving average in the RSI. We'll see if we get a bounce there. Red dot on the momentum wave right here, point to the downside. Money flow has been negative since January 14th. So definitely want to keep an eye on this one. If we lose this support at 184 and we lose this support of our downtrend, then, I mean, at least in my opinion, once we get to that point, then all hope is lost for this being like that nice sideways choppy breakout to where we eventually go up. You know what I mean? We talked about the pump, the dump, the sideways choppy breakout, and then the pump. I'm hoping this is the sideways choppy breakout on like most of these coins. And the choppy sideways stuff where people long every single move and they get liquidated the second it goes down, more than 2%. That is what shakes everybody out and has everybody, I mean, the 5 or 6 retail investors that are left leave because they can't trade, and then the market explodes to the upside. H bar, not much going on with H bar. It is up 1.04% on the day, which is nice. We'll see if it continues to push up from here. We got a potential inverse head and shoulders on this guy as well, along with everything else. What's nice about this one is we got a bullish cross over the moving average on the RSI on Tuesday, and that seemingly just retested and confirmed as support that moving average. So we might get some nice upside on H bar. They also, apparently they had some partnership with Formula One or something like that. Kwame said, yo, what's going on? It's Kwame. SWE is up 0.37% on the day, kind of following the fractal. In like a weird skewed sense, we'll call it. I'm going to say that so far this looks pretty good. If it decouples much farther, then I will take the L. But as of right now, I'm kind of happy with it. As long as it holds above 140, like it can do this, and then I'll be happy. Like that 140 level would be my last line of defense for defending this, the fractal, and the little D-peg that we got going on. RSI is sitting above the moving average. We got a cross on Tuesday, which is still intact, potentially holding as support. Red dot on the momentum wave pointed to the downside. Negative money flow since January 14th. We'll see what happens. Honestly, that money flow is pretty accurate at predicting nice upside. Interesting. Ondo up 0.58%. This thing's really struggling. Ondo's doing really bad. I got a crazy post for Ondo as well. They apparently tokenized hundreds of real-world assets, just went live on Solana. Literally like every single stock you could ever imagine, 150 more. With Ondo Global Markets, the number of tokenized stocks on Solana just 4x'd. So that's really cool. I'm wondering if it's going to be a lagging thing. Here's my situation. That's great for Solana. Why does it matter for Ondo at all? Like, why would this ever entice me to buy some Ondo? Because I don't think anyone needs any Ondo in order to buy these on Solana. It's kind of like the Chainlink argument. Like, Chainlink is great. It's integrated everywhere. It's really necessary for cryptocurrency. But why does anyone ever need to buy Link? You don't need to buy it to utilize it. You don't need to buy it to interact with it. Like all of their backdoor API that protocols use as references for like stablecoin pegging and all that stuff, it's completely irrelevant to the token. So I'm very curious as to how Ondo benefits from this being on Solana. You know what I mean? Aerodrome is up 2.15% on the day, currently trading at 4789. Up 2.15%. It must have opened way the heck down here. That's crazy. 4789. Struggling to get back above 48. If we get back above 48, that would be awesome. We could trade sideways here and use that as momentum for the upside later. RSI is right now pointing to the upside. We got a little bit of a bongo cat here, so there might be a huge potential move. Every time we see that in the RSI, I think the price pumps like crazy. So we'll see if that plays out. We do have one in the chart here, which I think is the Bongo Cat on the chart is bearish. Bongo Cat on the RSI is bullish. And that is complete speculation, like memeology. There's nothing really scientific to that at all. We've just pointed it out a handful of times on the channel, so I'm sticking with it. As of right now, Aerodrome has the potential to retest 40 without really getting bearish. It's kind of a fluke thing, but that's because this breakout angle is on an angle, a descending angle. So what's nice is each move seems to have increasing volume, which leads me to think that this was not that move. I'm going to assume that there's going to be a big move here that's going to be bigger than both of these guys. That's strictly based on patterns that we've seen. Maybe it's a downside move because, well, no, this is a reversal. This is a reversal. So maybe we get a bigger reversal here. So we might actually get that pullback to 40. I don't know. We'll keep an eye on it, though. RSI bouncing off that moving average, red dot on the momentum wave pointed to the downside. Negative money flow pretty consistently across the board for quite some time. What's next? Let's go to Avalanche, up 0.41% on the day, currently trading at 12.25. Are we going to slowly chop out of this little accumulation range? And if we do, can we get above this accumulation range and retest it by February 4th? I feel like that actually looks quite good. It's very simple cop-out fractal. I just dragged and dropped from over there. But we are very much just doing the thing where we just consistently create these weird little morsels of choppy price action. Mr. Roberts said, yo, what's going on, Mr. Roberts? Happy Thursday, my friend. So yeah, the RSI is doing the same thing as everything else. We got a bullish breakout, or bullish break above the RSI, January 21st. And we are seemingly confirming that as support today for continuation to the upside. Red dot in the momentum wave, point to the downside. John Tujo said, I just convinced myself I got to hold till 2030, and then I'll be rich. That's kind of where I'm at this point. And if we're not, then we should have been made rich from something else. It's our fault. Not financial advice, though. Chainlink is at 0.24% on the day, currently trading at 12.30. We broke pretty harshly below 13.39. Tried to hold 12.68, broke below that, used it as resistance after bouncing off of 12. And now we're kind of forming what looks to be a potential bear flag. So we'll see what happens with that. Volume could definitely be better here. I like that we're holding the same level. We kind of have a big battle with, it looks like $13, honestly. $13, not only psychological, but apparently incredibly important to the recent price action for some reason. So getting above that is going to be interesting. We got resistance, resistance, break, support, 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 break, resistance, and now we're below it again. So we hardly tried it as support. You know, as soon as this Greenland thing, or allegedly the Japanese bond market, who knows, started to collapse the entire cryptocurrency market, everything kind of poo-pooed. I'm wondering if Japan is really, really heavily into crypto. I would like to see the demographics of cryptocurrency purchases. Obviously, we won't know for sure because VPNs, but I'm sure only a small percentage of people actually use VPNs. If majority of them are in like China and Japan, it kind of makes sense that we're bearish right now. China consistently bans Bitcoin like every day, and Japan's market is kind of plummeting right now. Allegedly, China's market's not doing that great either. I don't know. I think the entire world is just struggling right now. We got a bullish crossover the moving average and the RSI into the 21st, just the same as everything else. We are holding that as support on the moving average, so we'll see if we continue to the upside. Red dot on the momentum wave pointed to the downside, and money flow flipped negative on January 20th, and we've been negative ever since. Silver. Silver is the star of the show right now. $98.81, current all-time high, $99 and 1.52 pennies. That is insane. This is the highest silver has ever been, ever. All time history. Never been $99 before. So, are we going to witness it cross 100 before the end of the stream? I feel like that's entirely possible. But how many people actually have like sell orders at $100? And with the global market, I don't know how the global market really works, to be completely honest. So I don't know if it's even possible for it to cross 100 before tomorrow's market open. What's interesting to me is with Bitcoin, our liquidation heat map for the day, for today, tomorrow, looks like Saturday, Sunday liquidity, which is really weird. Like, it never looks like this until Friday night leading into Saturday morning. I don't know if people are just planning on the markets not being around tomorrow because of the weather. I don't know. It's one of the weirder things I've seen for sure. I was supposed to go to Bitcoin right here. Dominance really getting pumpy too. But yeah, silver, crazy, up 2.9% on the day, 98.95 and 43 tenths of a cent. Gold also snapping necks and cashing checks at $4,958.14. Mr. Robert said, John, if you pick decent assets and can hold for 5 years, then yes, you can. Hell yeah. So yeah, gold number go up, silver number go up. I got nothing to say about these guys. They're just shredding to the upside. What's awesome about gold is right now, if it does reject, we'll be like, oh, it's got bearish div, but it might not reject. What would be really hilarious to see is if the price went up so much that the RSI forced it to not be bearish div, because that's literally what happened right here. This cannot be bearish div because the RSI is higher along with the price. So it's quite comical to witness. I don't know if the gold and silver bugs just like accumulated so much that they can manipulate the price like this. Genuinely have no idea what's going on right now. Silver, $98.97. Are we going to witness $100 right now? Wouldn't that be sick? RSI, again, if we do reject here, then we will have bearish div, but we've seen that before. The market does not really give a crap about bearish div. $99.14.5. All-time high on silver. $99.20. Holy crap. $99.14. Okay. It's Kwame said, I'll buy some right now and make it dump. That's a threat. $99.06. He's doing it, guys. My God, what have you done? Should I do? Hold on, let me do it. Ready? Hang on. Mother of God. Did that look good? How did that frame out? 99.07 and 97 tenths of a cent. Teacher said, JJ, staring at silver so much. Is the top close? Possible. I mean, $100, big psychological level. I honestly would expect at least something of resistance here. I thought it was going to top around 77. I'm flabbergasted that it's even anywhere near $100. DXY, up 0.1%. This thing's really struggling today. Like, we had Greenland, Japanese bond market situation, and then we had Trump being like, oh, never mind. And then for some reason today, everyone's like, buy silver and gold. Silver and gold. And I don't know. Everyone's preparing for Christmas. If you know, you know. MicroStrategy, aka Big B Coffee, down 1.73% on the day. Vanguard did just buy some of this, so they're not stupid. 160 and 55 cents. Let's see if it comes down to 130 and then gets its bounce. I really am convinced that whoever designed the logo revamp, maybe they drink Big B coffee every day. I don't know. It really blows my mind that somebody approved that. Silver 99.03. Yeah, dude, this thing is volatile today. Wow. It's kind of crazy that we could have just went long on silver. Like, even this right here is a bull market. This is what a cryptocurrency bull market is like as well. That's why it peeves me when people are like, what do you mean? What do you mean we didn't have a cryptocurrency bull market? We didn't have a cryptocurrency bull market is what I mean. When the price goes up and you open a long at the top and you still make money, that is a bull market. We did not get that with crypto at all. Anywhere. None of it. Zero. Not even Bitcoin. Bitcoin didn't even do that. 99. 99. It's just 99. Teacher said, it seems like holding the winners is a good strategy so far. Not try to time it. Oh, exactly. 100%. That's the... I know I keep harping on about this book, so I apologize for it, but the book that I'm listening to, The Simple Path to Wealth by J.L. Collins, he talks about that. And I think the reason why so many people fail to do that is because it's not sexy. Everyone's like, ooh, I want to be like a cypherpunk trader. I want to be like, what's his freaking name? Hang on. I want to be like Bradley Cooper in Limitless and day trade stocks and make millions of dollars. And that's not practical. Nobody does that. There's like 5 to 10 people on the planet probably that have successfully outperformed index funds trading stocks. Crypto, probably a completely different story. But that, unfortunately, might go into the saturation of it. The cryptocurrency market is incredibly saturated now. Everyone's trying to catch the next micro cap and, make 100, 200, 300x from their investment. So money might literally be just way too spread amongst junk. And I hate saying that because that theory drives me crazy, because I feel like we would have seen that in Total 2 and Total 3. But if there really is less liquidity, then it makes sense. So, I don't know. I got no answers. We will see what the market brings. As of right now, my brain tells me that money is leaving at least crypto and going into heavy metals. At the very least. That's actually the trend that we're observing. So I'm not gonna sit here and be like, well, maybe it's not, because that's what's happening. Crypto's going down, precious metals are going up. It might not be a direct correlation, but there is money leaving crypto and money going into silver and gold. $99.07. We'll come back to this. MicroStrategy, we talked about. NASDAQ, beautiful recovery right here. Our plan so far is playing out very nicely. The hand-drawn fractal, probably exactly what's going to happen. I'm not a financial advisor. We'll see what happens on February 1st, 2nd, 3rd if we get that nice bounce. But right now, we're looking pretty good. What I'm concerned about is the possibility that we do this. That would suck. And that would ruin my fractal and make me very upset. S&P 500. Oh, I guess I'll go over this. We talked about, this is based on the Kobayashi letters Trump tariff plan playbook. So I take no credit for this. All I did was stamped it on the NASDAQ for a timeline. But we got Tuesday, Wednesday negotiations going great. We literally just saw that yesterday. Today is Thursday, Friday. I don't know if they're going to be like negotiations going bad, but we did see Trump kind of like, I don't know, he like flexed a little bit. He told Europe if they sell any United States assets or something, the retaliation will be monumental or something weird. It was kind of gay, if we're being honest, but it is what it is. So I would equate that to negotiations going bad. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. I'm sure anything can go down. And that's my concept, is that everything gets poo-pooed and then we look good. Obviously, maybe my drawing needs to get a little thinner, because this is definitely like a Monday, Tuesday, the beginning of February. So let me redraw this. Monday, Tuesday. No. Maybe, I don't know. I'm just going to leave it the way that it is. We'll talk about it later. If I got to stretch something out, I can. S&P 500. Currently trading at 69.13 and 36 cents. Beautiful gap to the upside. Keep grabbing that part. What is 68.65? Why is that there? Oh, that was the Tuesday open, January 20th. 2 days ago? Okay. Yeah. I don't think that's accurate. Was that a guess? Maybe that was a guess. Wasn't far off if that's the case. Anyways, we are gapping to the upside. We'll see if any of these fractals remain intact. This is AS Fractal 3.0. So far, the original AS Fractal and AS Fractal 2.0 played out perfectly, if I do say so myself. Tichu said, gotta go. Good night. Take it easy, Tichu. Appreciate you for stopping by. Happy Thursday, my friend. Cheers. Bitcoin up 0.16% on the day. 89,702 and 84 cents. Derek said, crypto feels like poop all of a sudden. All of a sudden. Where have you been? I feel like crypto has felt like poop since October 10th. Right here. This happened and suddenly nobody wants to touch it. And I don't blame them. Like, this was spooky. Bitcoin went from 120K all the way down to 100K. It literally did 10-15% dump in a day. And that doesn't happen. That's not supposed to happen. Like one candle. And I think ever since then, Wall Street's like, I'm not touching this until it's like properly regulated. Because then at least they can, you know, fall back and pursue legal action if they need to, if something is maliciously done. But that, I think that spooked a lot of people. Retail was already gone. This seems entirely institutional led. I don't know. News segment. Wall Street Mav posted. So the new deal is Denmark has to keep paying the population of Greenland $600 million a year. USA gets sovereignty over whichever parts we want for U.S. military bases. USA gets mineral rights. China and Russia aren't allowed in Greenland. It costs us $0. Art of the Greenland deal. Get your opponent to cede territory and mineral rights for free while they still pay the natives billions a year in welfare payments and think you're the idiot for accepting. That's kind of hilarious. Binance founder CZ says he's in talks with a dozen governments about tokenizing their assets. President Trump says if the Supreme Court rules against his tariffs, we'll do something else. Cool. President Trump warns of major retaliation if Europe sells U.S. securities. Derek said, it's had its ups and downs, but it never felt like complete poop until now. Oh, were you not here during the last bear market? This is definitely the worst sentiment has ever been. Price-wise, though, this is pretty par for the course. Oh, gee, I can never find the right damn chart. This drives me crazy. So I guess I'll agree with you that it's never felt this bad. That's for damn sure. I remember this taking forever and feeling like complete shit. This is where I called my mom and I said, hey, buy Bitcoin. She didn't listen. She literally never spoke of it again. Every new milestone, I was like, Bitcoin's at 30K, Bitcoin's at 40K, Bitcoin's at 50K, Bitcoin's at 60K, Bitcoin's at 70K, Bitcoin's at 100K. So, I'm just saying. Outside of that, though, this is what I mean. Like, from top to bottom, this one took 357 days, so it was about a year. Right now, we peaked, October 6th? I believe, yeah, October 6th right here. That was our peak. Let's go 357 days. Let's do right there. We're looking at September, October. Didn't it go from like 60K to 20K before? So before, we went from 69K all the way down to 15K. People panicked then too, but it still didn't feel this poop. So back then, a lot of people actually got screwed over. Back here, we had, I don't know what order it was in, but I'm just going to start rattling them off. Celsius collapsed, had a bunch of people's crypto custodied. BlockFi collapsed, a bunch of people's crypto was custodied. Terra Luna collapsed, that was literally an entire multi-billion-dollar top 10 cryptocurrency project. Voyager collapsed, a bunch of people's money. Not Galaxy Digital, Three Arrows Labs, I don't know, FTX. There was way too many centralized exchanges, brokerages, like crypto custody platforms that just collapsed. And they're like, oh, thank you for giving us your money. Give us your money, give us your money, give us your money. Uh-oh, we don't have your money. Bye. And then they disappeared. And everyone was like, where's my money? And then the suits came in and they were like, we have your money, but it's going to take us 6 years to get it back to you. and it might not be as much money as it was before, because I'm not doing this for free. You know, I still need to get paid, which is the biggest scam in the world when it comes to bankruptcies, by the way. But that's what happened. So a lot of the sentiment was pretty bad back then. It was just, I think, more evenly spread, it seems, because like it happened little by little. Everyone lost their money little by little. And now it's like, oops, everyone lost their money overnight. And there's no retail. There's still no retail. Retail is long absent. Back here, retail left. Here, we had little meme coin craze, whatever. And then they started getting destroyed. Probably a good year ago. About a year ago, I would say, maybe, I think it was back here actually, right, this right here. Everyone gave up. They all gave up. They were like, that's it, that's the top. Bitcoin's never going higher. Meme coins are a scam. They sucked all the liquidity, literally this entire time. Where's the money going to come from? Where's the money going to come from? Where's the money going to come from? We got scammed too much. There's too many tokens. Pump fund, prediction markets, CZ, Binance. Every single week, it seems, there was a different reason why Bitcoin wasn't going to go higher. And the common theme is that Bitcoin always went higher. Now, I'm not saying it's going to go up right now, but we see the prevailing theme here. Bitcoin tends to just continue to the upside. So it's not that crazy to assume Bitcoin's probably going to continue to the upside. Oh yeah, this is my other theory. So I think that the 4-year cycle is dead no matter what. If it's not, then whatever. That's the boring outcome. The fun outcomes are either extended to a 5+ year cycle, or that the cycles have become small. Instead of being 4-year cycle, maybe it's like a 2-year cycle, or like a 1-year cycle, whatever. Look at this. This I would call a bull run. This I would call a bull run. This I would call a bull run. And maybe that's why alts are not doing good. Maybe alts suck right now because they don't know what Bitcoin's doing. Bitcoin usually does a bull run, and then money rotates into alts. But Bitcoin's doing its thing right now, and alts are like, what are we didn't rehearse this. What is this? What's he doing? Did he tell you about this? I know he wanted to make some changes to the script, but he didn't say anything about whatever this is. This is a completely different routine. And everyone's confused. That's one of the copes that I've developed. Billy said, China, no rights whatsoever to Greenland. I love it. You know what my favorite thing in the world is? The fact that I was filling out paperwork today for workers' comp insurance for my business to like get a quote, and they asked me if I had ever done work in New York. That was the only state where they're like, have you ever done work in New York? I didn't say I worked out of state at all or anything like that, but they know that if you do anything in New York, you have no freedom. So they need to know. They're like, oh, are we supposed to like tell the government that we're going to give you workers' comp insurance for this? Because New York is really, really nerdy, and they take everything from you, and you have no freedom at all whatsoever when you live there. I've literally, like, over the course of the last decade, I've been so turned off New York. And it started with crypto. All my friends had access to all of this crypto stuff, except for my friends that lived in New York. They had nothing. They're like, oh, I can only buy whatever, like these 3 coins that are available on like this weird centralized exchange that like New York like shoves up their ass. It's the weirdest thing. I'm like, how like New York is like the heart of the United States according to pop culture. If you go to any other country, you ask them what do they think of America, they're going to tell you New York. They're going to talk about the Big Apple. New York, that's where dreams come true and whatever. That's where dreams die and they get taxed, and you get 300 square feet apartment for $8,000 a month. I'm sorry, I'm not a big fan anymore. I feel like New York dream died maybe in the 90s. It seems like a crap hole now. Anyways, now that that rant's over, President Trump says he will likely issue dividends if he wins the Supreme Court tariff case. He better start. I'm telling you, he is fumbling midterms so bad. And at this point, I'm starting to think he's doing it on purpose. $2.3 trillion Wells Fargo CEO Charles Scharf says interest rates are likely to go lower. It's Kwame said New York is horrible. I don't get it, man. Go to Texas. Texas sounds amazing. Texas sounds great. I really like Tennessee, and I mean Kentucky scares me a little bit, but I like Tennessee. I feel like I would really like Florida, which sounds weird, but I've been to Georgia. Cannot stand Georgia's roads. Whoever engineered that like spider web pattern around Atlanta is a sociopath, masochist, and I'm not a big fan. If I ever met them, I would kick them in the butthole. I cannot stand the roads there. It's miserable. You want to go around Atlanta? It's going to take you 7 hours. And oh, did we design it so that traffic keeps moving? No. It's like bumper to bumper for no reason. You want to get in and out of Atlanta? It's just as bad. It literally felt better going through Atlanta than it did to go around. Going around pissed me off. Going through, I'm stuck in traffic. Big whoop. I'm stuck in traffic. Going around, I'm stuck in traffic on the freeway. Why? I don't know. Somebody decided to make it shaped like a cute little spider web. What if all the roads went in and out, but there was like a circle? Are you for? I'm at Georgia right now, LOL, from New Jersey, though. Cannot stand the roads around Atlanta, dude. Oh my God. In Michigan, we have a grid. It's a grid. You want to get somewhere? You know how to fucking get there. North, south, east, west. That's it. In Georgia, they're like, oh, it's a spider, but you can go any direction you want. All of the directions. It's ridiculous. It's out of control, man. I swear. Too much. Chrissy has said, sub crypto fam, I hate traffic with a passion. I don't mind traffic as long as the roads aren't stupid. And then what made it worse was the hills. I remember I went a back way. I don't know why my GPS was like, you need to go this way. It's going to take you less time than it would take if you went the other way. And I'm driving the whole time. The roads are like, I was like on a roller coaster the whole, and I was like, what is this craziness? And every house was probably like $10+ million houses. And I'm furious driving through the whole time. The roads are like, whoa. And I was like getting sick. I was like, this is so dumb. I hate this place. I hate everything about it. It makes me so mad. I don't know. I didn't see a soul on the roads either. I didn't even use the roads that they have because they're pissed. They probably get on fucking helicopters. I would too. It's too much, man. I swear. Okay. We talked about Wells Fargo. Interest rates are likely to go lower. That'd be so awesome because I would win a ton of money off Kalshi. Michael Steeler says he's thinking of buying more Bitcoin. That's good. I love that this is newsworthy. Elon Musk says there will be more robots than people in the future. That sounds like the dumbest idea in the world. Remember when Elon was like anti-AI? Remember when he said AI was going to be the end of humanity? Now all of a sudden he's like, I'm making robots and Grok. You wanna fuck Grok? Cause you can. Grok is like a sexy anime chick now. You wanna fuck it? Everyone's like, maybe. And then Elon's like, what about multiple robots? It's weird, man. He's getting weird. Chrissy has said, who's buying gold and silver and gold? Dude, silver's, is that $100 yet? I should keep this up. 98, 91, and 70 cents. Current all-time high on silver, $99, 20.93 cents. That's crazy. It's Kwame said he was so against it. Dude, that's all he ever talked about. Christoph said Bitcoin is holding well. Thought it would fall further. Yeah, I'll give him that. Bitcoin is holding quite well. You're not wrong. Honestly, alts did really well during Bitcoin's latest tirade. It was quite surprising that alts didn't fall down further. I don't know where my phone is. I'm like feeling around the dark like an idiot. Gorman Brand said, "Hi guys." Chrissy said, "That's crazy." Yeah, dude. I was expecting it to go to $100. Not like this was. So we had, Greenland and Japanese bond market, and then they're like, "Oh, we have the framework of a deal," and then they're like, "Oh, what did Trump say?" I don't know what. I'm assuming that's from this. President Trump warns of major retaliation if Europe sells U.S. securities, which, by the way, I think is like step 9 or 10 of the Kobe SE letters tariff playbook. We probably haven't updated that. $98.98 on silver. We'll keep it. Don't let me forget. If something happens with silver, let me know. Billy said I-285 is the freaking devil. Christoph said, yes, also ETH is strange that it holds. Yeah, alts really did well. Like Bitcoin, right here. I'm going to go from up here all the way down to the Pico low, 7.31%. ETH, 12, which isn't bad. Solana, certain alts held up really well, and it was like weird to me. 11, total 3, right here, 6, minus 6%, total 3. So the average, which is why Bitcoin dominance didn't do anything. You know, it did this. It was just weird to me the other day. There was a point where Bitcoin was down 5, 6, 7%, which is a lot. That's so much for Bitcoin. And all the alts were down 5, 6, 7%. Altcoins almost always do like at least like 4 or 5% worse than Bitcoin to the downside. They are basically leveraged Bitcoin. So it was very strange to see altcoins hold up very well compared to Bitcoin during that little dump. Chrissy has said, I bought some butter and pipe for some low cap lottery tickets. Butter and pipe. I don't know what that is. Butter and pipe. I don't know what that is. It sounds like a weed thing. Derek said, I heard something about Steak and Shake paying their employees. Oh yes. Okay. I literally, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't know what Shake was. But Steak, I thought you were talking about the gambling company. Steak and Shake paying their employees bonuses in Bitcoin or something like that. So for every hour that they work, they are going to be paid 21 cents worth of Bitcoin. And I believe it vests for 2 years. I don't know the fine print, but I'm assuming you have to work there for 2 years. And then let's say you work, let me do some math here, 40 hours a week. Times, let's say you take some time off, you're not full-time. Let's do like 48, because there's 52 weeks in a year. Let's do 48 weeks. That's 1,920 hours times 2 years, 3840 times 0.21 cents. So you would get paid for, after you worked there for 2 years at Steak and Shake, you would technically receive, obviously it's going to change in price, so I don't know if there's fine print. You would receive approximately $806.40 worth of Bitcoin, which is pretty damn cool. That you otherwise wouldn't receive anywhere else ever. That's pretty sick. Silver up 2.7%. Chrissy has said Cardano memes. Oh, okay. I'm actually not familiar with either of those. I haven't looked in forever. Butter and pipe. Are those two different coins? I'll have to check them out. Steak and Shake give their employees 0.21 Bitcoin every hour worked. Philly said JJ, New York went to complete crap during the pandemic. With all the shutdowns, population dropped and crime exploded. And I'm also talking about their business market. Gourmet, I can confirm, Philly. Zup dude. High taxes in New York chased everyone out too. Chrissy said, yeah, more companies should do that. I mean, that's awesome. That's one of the coolest things I've seen. I think that's the most pro-Bitcoin we've seen any like mainstream company get. And it benefits their employees too, which is awesome. Sailor said he's thinking of buying more Bitcoin. Cool. Elon Musk wants to sleep with a robot. He says he will start selling humanoid robots to the public by the end of next year. That's crazy. Chrissy said pipe rides with snack butter rides with night kind of deal. Oh, that sounds awful because night looks like crap. This is not good, in my opinion. But it looks like it's slowing down. I will say that. I'm a fan of Charles to an extent. There is a clip from him that he did an interview with All in Crypto. Love All in Crypto, by the way. Like, this does look, it doesn't look like it's going to go, it looks like it's actually about to, turn around eventually. So that's good. It's slowing, the momentum is slowing down, which is what I want to see personally. But there's a clip where he's like, and I understand his point of view. It's very, I'm going to call it hobby point of view, because he has money, so he doesn't have to worry about the crap that we have to worry about. He's talking about how stablecoins don't represent like the cypherpunk ethics of cryptocurrency because they're pegged to like the legacy dollar system. And I don't disagree with him. The issue that I have is that he says these things after receiving money for the pentad to get stablecoins, tier 1 stablecoins on Cardano, because I'm going to be blunt, the stablecoins on Cardano suck ass. Nobody wants those stablecoins. They depeg, they are garbage. Literally never touched any of them. I remember looking at them, I'm like, why are we talking about these? Can we get Tether? Can we get, I would have settled for, what's the one, DAO or whatever, not DAO, starts with a D. Oh shit, it's gonna bug me. I have to go find it. I'm sorry, but can we get like a tier 1 stablecoin that people are familiar with, that people are comfortable with using? DAI. Can we get DAI? You know, it can't cost that much money. This is a stablecoin. It stays pegged to the dollar. Do a good job. It's better than frickin' whatever the hell bullshit stablecoins we have. It just pisses me off. He's like, it doesn't fit the cypherpunk nature of cryptocurrency. That's fine. Give us an update on the pentad. Can we get a tier 1 stablecoin? Then you can complain about them. Let's get them on chain first. Is that why we've gone so long without tier 1 stablecoins? Because he's like, well, morally, how do we onboard people to the ecosystem without a tier 1 stablecoin, Charles? Tell me that. Because it's been years, and the user base is trash. There's nobody here. Excuse me. Jed's dead, baby. Yeah, dude, I had high hopes for that, too. Philly said so many companies moving to Texas and Florida. Gourmet Brand said, I heard Florida is going to charge New Yorkers a moving tax if they migrate there. That's really funny. A lot of Michigan people go down to Florida for vacation. Chrysius said, yeah, I've been restacking night 2. I'm a little afraid to touch them myself. I wouldn't go near them. I would rather hold ADA. I'd rather just migrate into ADA. And ADA sucks too. It's more of a stablecoin than anything though. Chrysius said, I'd rather see my bag go to 0, right? Yeah. Looks like silver might see a breather here. For one candle, I'm sure it's going to probably do this, what it did back here, which is hilarious. Philly said, Steak and Shake doing that. Hopefully they get those bonuses during bear market, but I bet people sell the Bitcoin because they don't know what to do with it. That's probably true. Oak Tree said, hey, JJ, hope all is well. All is well, Oak Tree. What's going on, my friend? Cheers. All right. ADA is the stable. I mean, it is. It really is. All right. President Trump files. Like, that used to be a meme a couple of years ago. Now I'm kind of grateful for it. I'm like, oh, I can just, migrate my Cardano natives into ADA. Everyone's like, we need stablecoins. I'm like, yeah, do we though? President Trump files $5 billion lawsuit against JP Morgan and CEO Jamie Dimon for debanking him. That's hilarious. Gold reaches another all-time high of 4,900. Binance founder CZ says crypto will make you not need a job. Maybe you, CZ, maybe you. Buy and hold now, retire in a few years. Hopefully. It's been a few years, my guy. I'm sorry, but it's been a few years. I have yet to retire. I'm not getting any younger. Odds of BlackRock, Rick Ryder, which is the most superhero name, by the way, Rick Ryder, or maybe supervillain, becomes the next Fed chair to replace Jerome Powell, hit a new all-time high. Congratulations. He looks, I don't know, he looks thick. Is that rude? Is that a rude thing to say? He looks like a thick gentleman. He looks like he ate a lot of butter in his life. I don't know. Kansas introduces bill to create a Bitcoin and crypto strategic reserve. Hell yeah. I don't actually know where Kansas is. Oak Tree said, I got a Snecky. Nice. I also have a Snecky. But I got snackified, so I kind of ditched it. And I feel bad, but I actually, you know what? That's a good question. I wonder if we're still collecting mining rewards. I gotta go check that. You know what's really great, actually? You know, it's pretty sick. When I first got my Snecky and we were receiving mining rewards, it was actually quite substantial quantity of snacks. So now that snack's cheaper, we're going to go back to accumulating a substantial quantity of snacks. Or snack. So that's pretty cool. We're getting a red candle here. 98.46 on silver. Let's go back to Bitcoin. Up 0.34%. Is the red candle in silver and maybe gold, perhaps? Question mark. Gold. are these red candles going to result, interesting, in a green Bitcoin candle? Ooh. I don't know. Let's see. Did anyone watch? I interviewed Luca from Sneckies. From, what's the actual company's name? Great guy. And he talked about, where are my damn videos? He talked about what they're doing because they kind of took over Tavern Studios. That's what it is. Luca from Tavern Studios took over Sneckies, and they're bringing it back to life. They're fixing it, if you will. I also interviewed Sean from Strike and our guy from Iagon. Great dude. All right, let's see. Bitcoin 89,855 and 27 cents. Gold 49.50. All right, we got Marty Party mouthful. Are you ready? U.S. GDP jumps to 4.4%. Third quarter 2025 released on January 22nd, 2026. The U.S. economy showed strong momentum with the final updated estimate for third quarter 2025 GDP growth coming in at an annualized rate of 4.4%, according to the Bureau of Economic Analysis. Released on January 22nd, 2026, this marks a slight upward revision from the initial estimate of 4.3% and the prior quarter's 3.8% growth. It's the fastest quarterly pace since the third quarter of 2023. Key drivers included robust consumer spending up around 3.5%, accounting for 70% of GDP, stronger exports, a reduction in imports, which subtract from GDP calculations, contributions from sectors like information and finance/insurance. Interesting. We got a Wyckoff update. We're looking at January 30th, potential spring, which literally lines up with all of our altcoin charts. I want to point out all of our altcoin charts that we've had like fractaled for weeks now. The beginning of February might be the spring. There's confluence with all of this data that everyone's presenting. Pretty cool. Bitcoin 89,897 and 3 cents. Let me catch up on chat really quick. Chrissy said, I haven't got a Snecky payout yet. I'm curious to see. Only been staked less than a month. It's definitely going to be higher quantity of coins now. The dollar amount's not high yet. What's nice is when times like now, when the coins are cheap, I actually accumulated a ton of Sneck, getting a Snecky in the early days because they just convert into Sneck. And that's how I accumulated a large quantity, which was pretty cool because it was paying out pretty well for a little while. Oak Tree said, I haven't either, but I've gotten very small amounts of other projects, but never snacked from a Snecky. Oak Tree said, Iagon is great too. Did you send your Snecky to the mines? Oak Tree said, yes, sir. Chrissy said, nice. So what's really funny about that is they partnered with Goofy Gophers, and Goofy Gophers, there's a deadline for the payout. With Sneckies, there's no deadline, so your payout just stacks. I missed the window. I bought a Goofy Gopher, and the vesting period was like 3 months, and I waited, and I paid a lot of money for it at the time. I waited, and I went to go collect it, and it's like, oh, you missed the deadline. You missed your window. And I was like, excuse me? What happens to that? And I went in the Discord. They're like, oh, yeah, no, it's gone forever. You don't get it. And I was like, who made that decision? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. And I sold it. I sold it all for. I was like, fuck you guys. This project sucks ass. The art's stupid, and you guys are retards. And I left. And I have a Snecky now, and it does the cool thing where you can just let it ride because that's what people in crypto do. And now I can collect my funds whenever I want. Mr. Roberts said, I gotta say, Marty Party is on the same page as all of us for the next 10 years, but that dude cannot predict the next 6 months any better than a cardboard box. None of them can, Mr. Roberts. We just look at everyone's point of view because everyone's got different points of views. It's fun. But yeah, none of them can. This dude, this chart has shifted more than my fractals shift. So, all right. 2020. I mean, he's a DJ, so we can't really have high expectations if we're being real. Marty Party posted, never answer the phone. 2026. Never answer the phone unless it's a known contact. Never take unrequested Zoom or Meet calls. Oak Tree said, love you, JJ. Good night, bro. Take it easy, Oak Tree. Appreciate you. Cheers. Happy Thursday, my friend. It's just lines. They go up, they go down. Exactly. The quantity of coins stays the same. Never store anything important on Web 2. Double check every click. Double check the spelling of every URL. Never check the physical mail. It's all scams and ads. That's actually really funny. Email is mostly scams and ads. Don't get shaken out. Crypto solves all of this, and they know it. They will fight like dogs. Dundee's District on Sol is best NFT. Chrissy said, yep. Good night. Like the stream. Okay. So, the Marty Party thing right here where he said never answer the phone unless it's a known contact. So my favorite thing to do, and this was years ago, there was an issue with my coworkers actually. My boss's nephew. Somehow they got recordings of his voice and they like trained like a voice model on it. And this was like before AI was like a big thing. They trained a voice model on his voice and they had him call his grandparents and say like, "Grandma, I need money." And this was going around like this was happening to everyone. I was hearing about it and I was like, damn, that's crazy. And I have a different voice on the phone. When I answer the phone, I don't go, "Hello?" I've never done that. I don't know why. I have a phone voice. I call it my phone noun. My phone noun is gay and guy. It's a kind of gay, it's a bit of a gay voice. I don't know why. It sounds professional. I don't know. So I've always done it. I'm like, okay, I don't really have to worry about that because I don't do that voice with like when I'm talking to people that I know. But if I don't know, I'm like, "Hello?" So I answer like really fucking fruity. And whenever I get a call that's like more than likely spam, I answer it in like a Kermit the Frog voice. I'm like, "Hello?" Just in case. I'm like, I don't want them to record my voice. So now I've developed this theory in my head. I'm like, that's really funny. They're gonna like make a model off of this voice right here, and it's gonna call my mom, and it's gonna be like, "Mom, I need you to send me money." And my mom's gonna be like, "Who is this?" And it's gonna be like, "It's your son, JJ. Please send me money." And then she's just gonna hang up. I was like, wow, I'm accidentally like an accidental genius because I was stupid and I answered the phone like Kermit the Frog every time I get a spam call. So I'm hoping one day that my mom gets a call like that. She's gonna call me. She's gonna be like, "I just got this really weird phone call from like Kermit the Frog saying that he needs money and that it's you." That would be amazing. Oh man. Okay, Bitcoin is getting a little push here. 89, 899.99. Very cool. Let's continue the news segment. This one was kind of cool. London Stock Exchange announced it's listed a Bitcoin and gold exchange traded product, giving investors access to both store of value assets. That's pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie. Ew, they're all looking at the camera. This is really creepy. Why is the camera down here? This is a creepy picture, bro. Why would they do this? Whose idea was that? Mr. Roberts said, "JJ, look up how Eddie Murphy answers the door when he's pretending to be Mr. Rogers." Yes, that's okay. I think I've seen that. That clip is amazing. Eddie Murphy, Mr. Rogers skit. Mr. Robinson's Neighborhood. All right, hang on. Can we watch this? I feel like we're gonna watch it anyways. Let's do it. All right, I'm gonna try to skip ahead to where he answers the door, just so if I do get a copyright strike, it's not too crazy. Okay, here we go, squatters. Here we go. Dude, what a classic. I love Eddie Murphy. He has not aged, dude. I mean, I know that was 7 years ago, but damn. All right. Philly said everyone has to make a code of legitimacy so there isn't any doubt about their scammers. I mean, to be fair, you always need to verify. Always. If your spouse or whoever calls you and they're like, "I need money," and it's from a random number, hang up. Hang up the phone and call back their actual number and be like, "Hey, honey, are you kidnapped? Do you need money? Because I can send it, but I want to make sure that it's actually you first." You know what I mean? Otherwise, you'll just be sending money all the time. You're like, "Oh, I thought you were kidnapped again. Uh-oh, we have no money." You know, that you can either pick one situation or the other. They're both going to be awkward. One of them is just cheaper. Okay. I'm going to get in trouble for that one. Update on tariff legality. No major updates today on the Supreme Court ruling regarding President Trump's tariffs. Update on Crypto Clarity Act. The Senate Agriculture Committee under Chair John Boozman, looks like Republican Arizona, maybe Arkansas, I don't know, released an update draft on January 21st, 2026, building on prior bipartisan discussions, but now has a Republican-led version. No full bipartisan agreement yet due to policy differences. It aims to give the CFTC new authority over digital commodities and intermediaries. A markup business meeting is scheduled for January 27th, 2026. Meanwhile, the Senate Banking Committee delayed its related markup originally mid-January by weeks or more, shifting focus partly to housing issues. Banks are fighting like dogs. They still don't understand blockchain cannot be stopped, and Trump and Moran are coming for them. I saw a weird post that Lutnick, or at least like heavily companies heavily affiliated with Lutnick, like his son, are betting that tariffs are going to get shot down by SCOTUS. So that was interesting. Something to take into consideration for sure. We are getting a little pumpy here on altcoins. Silver, we got that little baby red candle, $98.64. We'll continue to keep an eye on that. Bitcoin itself, $89,869 and 60 cents. Very nice. Kobe SE letter. Mr. Barber said, I'm going to drop out too. JJ chat. Peace be with you. Cheers all. Cheers, Mr. Barbers. Appreciate you for stopping by. Happy Thursday, my friend. I'll see you tomorrow. All right. Kobe SE letter. Oh boy, this is a big one. The U.S. government sold $654 billion in treasuries last week across 9 auctions. $500 billion were T-bills, with maturities from 4 to 26 weeks, mostly replacing maturing debt. Furthermore, $154 billion in notes and bonds were issued, including $50 billion in 10-year notes. Since 2020, T-bills outstanding have now surged $4 trillion, or 160% as a percentage of marketable Treasury securities. T-bills now reflect 22%, near the highest since 2021. By comparison, T-bills peaked at 34% in the 2008 financial crisis. U.S. government borrowing is out of control. Denmark's U.S. Treasury holdings are at record lows. The value of U.S. Treasuries held by Denmark is down to $9 billion, and the lowest in 14 years. Over the last year, the country decreased its holdings by $4 billion, or 30%. Since the 2016 peak, holdings have more than halved. To put this into perspective, Denmark reflects less than 1% of the European $3.6 trillion ownership of the U.S. Treasury's securities. Meanwhile, Danish pension fund Admiral Akbar Pension is planning to exit all treasuries by the end of the month, citing concerns over rising credit risk under President Trump's policies. Denmark is quietly exiting the U.S. market. Okay. The U.S. is actively seeking regime change in Cuba by the end of the year, per Wall Street Journal. President Trump reportedly believes that ending the Castro era would cement his legacy. Honestly, I feel like Cuba is a little too small to cement your legacy, but sure. Natural gas prices extend gains to 75% in 3 days as an Arctic blast spreads across the U.S. This marks the largest 3-day gain in history. That's crazy. If my gas bill goes up 75%, I'm going to be making some angry phone calls. Like, I might record them. JJ goes full Karen on gas company. U.S. GDP grows by 4.4% in Q3 2025, above expectations and the highest growth rate in 2 years. Crazy. The NASDAQ 100 extends 2-day gains to plus 2% and now stands less than 3% away from a new record high. Very cool. Silver surges to new record high of 95.88. Look at that. 11 hours ago it was just 95.88. Now it's literally sitting at 98.83. Is it going to break 100? It's green again. That's actually crazy. Ooh, we're getting spicy. Spicy silver. I like spicy silver. It's fun. All right. Very cool. Making trades during the stream. It's been a long time since we've been able to do that. It's kind of nice. Maybe one day we'll be able to trade on stream. Should I leave this up or should we go with Bitcoin? Okay, earlier I asked you guys, let me check the poll. We got 12 votes. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. I think it may be time to end it. That's the poll. Why is Bitcoin flat while gold and silver moon? 50% of you guys said Bitcoin is coiled spring bullish. 17, the rest are tied. 17, 17, 17. Rotation moving, money moving to metals. Market waiting for Fed macro, and metals are the new lead. Bitcoin is bearish. So I'm going to end the poll. And let's do another poll. Silver 98.84.8. All right, next poll. Do you think silver actually breaks, not just touches, $100 today? Yes or no? Chrissy has said it's only a matter of time for Bitcoin and alts. I agree. I 100% agree. All right. Next, we've got Elon Musk. I want to die on Mars, but not on impact. I'm glad he provided that clarification. SpaceX set to hire Bank of America, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, and Morgan Stanley to lead its IPO in 2026 per Financial Times. The IPO is expected to be valued as much as 1.5 trillion, making it the largest IPO in history. That's pretty crazy. I'm not gonna lie. Pretty embarrassing to see a private company come in and do way, like, light years better than NASA. And how much money are we spending on NASA? I think that's ridiculous. And I think that we deserve a refund. I'm just saying. All this tax money that we're spending, and it's garbage. You know what they did? You know what they did where I live? They redid the roads. The roads that were fine, by the way. They redid the roads by literally pouring blacktop over the road. Blacktop is not made for Michigan. Blacktop is great for, like, the South. When you pour blacktop in Michigan or anywhere in the Rust Belt, water gets underneath it. And then it freezes and then it breaks. And you have, like, this lovely flat blacktop. And then there's, like, a crater. Blacktop and then another crater and a crater and a crater. And they're all 2 or 3 inches thick. And it's just a big chunk where the road just comes out. And there's, like, flat road underneath it, which is cool. But it's just, you're driving like this the whole time. On this brand new road, you're like, oh, they just redid the road last year. And this looks really good, but it feels like shit. And if it doesn't do that, it turns into black ice. I don't know if they were like, wow, this blacktop's really, really cheap. They definitely went like the disposable road territory. It drives me crazy. I don't know. Me, like, I'm a 32-year-old freaking, like, landscape architect. Why do I know better than the people that are actually in charge? That's insane. Derek said they did that in Phoenix too, and it got all melty and shitty, and they had to pay millions to remove it. It's ridiculous. There's, like, I don't know if there's lobbying going on. Blacktop, I'm pretty sure, is just shredded tires with, like, tar. And it's dumb. It's crazy. I don't know. Blacktop parking lot is fine. Blacktop road is stupid. But if it's going to be a road, make it a downtown. A little downtown quiet area where everyone drives slow. They literally made it like our freeway here. I like, as soon as it snows or anything, I'm like, we can't take the freeway because it's gonna be ice. It's crazy. I watched a semi, like, I'm driving and the semi is driving and then the semi just goes, like, blows in the wind, and I was like, I'm behind him. I was like, help. There was nothing that could be done. He straightened it out eventually, but it was crazy. It was like, this is insane. This is definitely a rant-heavy live stream. Investor risk appetite is near record levels. The S&P Global Investment Manager Index rose to plus 41% in January, the highest reading since April 2021. This gauge covers a monthly survey of 300 institutional investors overseeing over 3.5 trillion in assets. This marks the 4th consecutive monthly increase in risk appetite. Now, 58% of fund managers expect U.S. equity gains over the next 30 days, while only 16% anticipate losses. As a result, the near-term market outlook jumped to plus 32%, the second highest in 4 years. Wall Street is betting on a continued stock market rally. I mean, I feel like I could be wrong. It seems like that's the president's entire focus, is making sure that, like, the American stock market performs very, very nicely. And it also makes sense that he would want that because, again, we're heading into midterms. Derek said asphalt is nice when it's new. It has very good traction, but it can't stand up to weight or weather like concrete. I just don't know why you would ever not do concrete. Like I grew up in a poor town. Not like full of poor people, but like the town itself had no money because the population was so low. There was like hardly any tax revenue. They put cement. They redid the entire downtown with cement. And the way that they made the cuts and everything, I drive through there today. That was like 20 plus years ago. I drive through there today, and it is the most beautiful, immaculate, uncracked road. Perfectly smooth all the way through. It looks like it's brand new still. And I'm like, damn, this shitty little town that I grew up in did a better job than this like nice new, very high tax revenue town that I live in now. That blows my mind. Completely different counties, but still, the town with no money gets the nice concrete, and the town with all the money puts blacktop in on like the fast road. I don't know. I don't want to talk about it. Okay. Gold prices officially rise above $4,900 an ounce for the first time in history. Our long-time $5,000 target is now just 2% away. What a run. That's crazy. Liquidity in Japan's government bond market is collapsing. This is what everyone is saying is causing the turmoil in the cryptocurrency market. The JGB liquidity index jumped to 9.5 points on Tuesday, indicating the worst liquidity conditions on record. This index has doubled over the last 12 months. Conditions in the $7.6 trillion bond market have deteriorated materially since 2022, as bond yields have experienced one of the most dramatic increases in history. This comes as the Bank of Japan has significantly reduced its bond purchases, while Japanese life insurers have sold a record amount. Meanwhile, foreign investors now reflect 65% of monthly cash bond transactions, up from just 12% in 2009. These investors have much shorter holding periods than traditional domestic buyers, increasing volatility. Japan's bond market is on the edge of a full-blown liquidity crisis. That is mildly terrifying. Silver, 98.86 and 83 tenths of a cent. Bitcoin, 89.888 and 77 cents. ETH, 29.63. Sol, 128. Total 3. 845 billion. ADA, 36.24. XRP, 191. H-bar is still green. I don't know. It's interesting to see some alts seemingly start to perform. I suppose we'll see where we end up. Chrysius said it's all asphalt in my area in Massachusetts. Derek said concrete paving is much more expensive. Yeah, that's what blows my mind. Where my cheap little town put it in. Chrysius said it's all asphalt in my area in Massachusetts, but they build them right and not just dump it on the road. They tear up the old one. I think it depends on the state of the road, and there's like weird standards in different states and stuff. I don't know. The fact that like the roads that they built, like the Romans built, are still in place, and we have to like redo the road every couple of years. I'm convinced that they do that to like create jobs. They're like, oh, jobs numbers are bad. Oh well, everybody, we gotta redo the road this year. The road's bad. My guy told me that the road is bad, so we gotta redo the road. And we can only get it done the right way if we hire 150,000 people. So we got to figure out, like, we know that we have 150,000 people worth of roads to redo in Michigan. You know, they come up with the number of employees that they need first, and then they're like, oh, we got to fix this many road. It's a racket. It's a meme, dude. It's a meme. It's a scam. Remember when we threw all that tea in the river because they wanted to tax us like 0.5%? Okay. Next, we got the Cass Freight Index dropped 7.5% year over year in December to 0.93, nearly matching the 2020 pandemic lows. This index tracks North American freight shipments and is one of the most important indicators of U.S. shipping activity. This marks the 35th consecutive monthly decline. It's the longest streak on record. Over this period, shipments have dropped 22%, with the index falling 5.5% in 2023, minus 4.1% in 2024, and minus 6.1% in 2025. Retailers are reducing inventories, ordering and stocking fewer goods, and freight capacity remains too high. By comparison, during the 2008 financial crisis, the index fell for 22 months. The U.S. freight downturn is intensifying. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if this is the red heron or the canary in the coal mine that they think it is. If tariffs are a thing, and they want you to buy more domestic products, wouldn't freight decrease? Like, GDP is up because spending is up. Like, it's not like we're spending less, so maybe we're spending more money for less goods? I don't know. Christoph said, the worst roads in the world we have in Budapest. Derek said the Romans didn't have 80,000 to 120,000 pound tractors driving on the roads nonstop. That's fair. That is totally fair. I did not think of that. And I have no counter argument. That for some reason did not cross my mind, Derek. Maybe they do now. Maybe they do now. We're definitely not spending less. Oh yeah, for sure. We're spending more. That's what I mean. Are we spending more on less product? Like tea. Is my tea 50% more than what it was last year? I have no idea. Because I usually buy in bulk. Okay. Retail investors bought the dip. Individual investors net bought 1.8 billion of the S&P 500 ETF SPY yesterday, the largest daily purchases since October. What? We don't like October. That's like a bad word in crypto now. You say October, people are like, what? Did you just say the O word? This was also the third largest inflow since April 2025 market recovery. Year to date, retail purchases have exceeded 1 billion in every single day. For the week ending January 14th, individual investors purchased 12.0 billion worth of equities, the largest weekly inflow in the last 3 months. This includes 4.9 billion in single stocks, the highest in 9 months. Retail investors' risk appetite is stronger than ever. Here's my other thing. Did the crypto retail just move to the stock market? Because that's kind of what I really hate these arguments, but that's kind of what it feels like. Derek said, my feed has been getting hammered with the alcohol sales and decline headlines. Gen Z isn't drinking. Yeah, I was going to short. I don't know how you even short alcohol companies, but I was going to try it months ago. I was talking about this because I don't drink, and I had seen those articles months ago. Here's the thing, though. You can use alcohol for other things, so I don't know if they're just going to, like, sit on this and go under and eventually crumble, or if they're going to pivot. And it's also incredibly possible for drinking to be cool again, and we all know how quick trends catch on. So just like that, with the right ad placed with like Sydney Sweeney drinking a beer or some shit with her titties, everyone's going to freak out and go buy a beer. All the like 20, 23, 24-year-old gooners are going to go out and be like, oh, can I get the, do you guys have the Sydney Sweeney beer? I need the Sydney Sweeney beer. That's my girlfriend. I feel like I do the voice really good. I hope it translates over the mic. Chrissy has said, I don't really drink either. I have like a fifth of vodka and a fifth of rum in my freezer that have been in there for like 4+ years. I don't not drink, I just don't drink. Like if I do, I'll have like a little something to sip on, like a little weenie, and then I get a headache, and then I get mad, and then I go to bed. Not mad like alcoholic mad like, damn it, why did I drink mad? Chrissy has said I'm more of a smoke weed every day kind of guy. That's also exciting. I microdose edibles like a child, literally. Like I have like it's 10 milligram? I think it's 10 milligram. I have like a 10 milligram edible. I cut that in half, and then I cut about a quarter off of that. So I'm taking probably 1/8 of 10 milligrams. Let's just call it 1. I'm taking like 1 milligram. Derek said, actually, I wanted to quit years earlier, but was addicted to weed or alcohol. I drank a lot in high school. Not even like out. I like drank by myself. Sometimes with my friends, but I would like drink and play Call of Duty or I would drink and watch Futurama. I watched a lot of Sherlock Holmes, the Robert Downey Jr. Jude Law movie. Watched that a lot. I remember I got really, really drunk one time, and I was watching, and I was like, God, Sherlock Holmes is so cool. And then I looked, and he was like dicking around with the violin or something, and I went, oh, and I bought a violin online, and then I like woke up the next day, no recollection whatsoever, and I'm going about my week, and I'm like, where did all my money go? I had no money left in my bank account, had no idea where it went, and I, didn't bother checking. I was just going to work and coming home, going to bed, whatever. And then like a week goes by, because back then it was a week, and my mom goes, you got a package? And I was like, what? And I open it up, and it's a violin, and I was like, oh, and then it all came back to me. I had like a Vietnam flashback. I was like, oh shit. So then I learned to play the violin, and then I actually ended up selling the violin for more than what I bought it for. That was the dawn of my investing prowess. I just didn't know it until like 12 years later. That's one of my favorite stories, though. Intel stock fell 6% despite reporting stronger than expected Q4 2025 earnings. That's pretty crazy. Foreign holdings of U.S. Treasuries jumped $112.8 billion in November to a record $9.4 trillion. Derek said, "You Amazoned a violin." I'm pretty sure I Amazoned a violin, like early Amazon too. So they might have like just started stocking violins. They might have just started stocking stuff other than books. Foreign holdings of U.S. Treasuries jumped $112.8 billion in November to a record $9.4 trillion. However, China's stockpile, the third largest holder, dropped $6.1 billion to $682.6 billion, the lowest since 2008. I hate that keeps coming up. Belgium's holdings, which include Chinese custodial accounts, surged $12.6 billion to a record $481 billion. Japan, the largest foreign holder of treasuries, saw a $2.6 billion increase to $1.2 trillion, the highest since July 2022. The UK, the second largest owner, posted a $10.6 billion increase to $888.5 billion, the second highest on record. Canadian holdings rose $53.1 billion to $472.2 billion, second largest in history. Foreign appetite for U.S. public debt is strong. That's kind of hilarious because the other people are selling because of increased credit risk or whatever they made up. They're doing a little Jerome Powell where they're like, I'm not going to do it because he said mean things. President Trump said record numbers all over the place. Should I try for a fourth term? This one confused me. Because is it supposed to be confusing? Are you supposed to go, wait a minute, he's only served one term so far. He's on his second. Does that mean he's gonna serve a third and he's asking about a fourth? Like, I don't know. Is this worthy of the tinfoil hat? Put it a little too far away this time. I think it's worthy of the tinfoil. Is President Trump going to serve 3 terms? And that's why he posted this? And did he post it like this on Twitter or Truth Social? Just so he has plausible deniability later when he's like, oh, that was a typo. Don't be such a weirdo. It was a typo, idiot. Stirring up some buzz to distract us from the Epstein files and the aliens who were also on Epstein Island? I'm just saying. What's going on, Giovanni Fontes? Global institutional guys. In case you guys were not aware, Giovanni Fontes actually works for Grey Goose, the vodka company. So any questions about the declining alcohol sales, you can direct to him in the chat. Global institutional investors have never held so little cash. Cash allocation by fund managers is down to just 3.2%, the lowest since data began in the 1990s. This marks a minus 1.6 percentage point decline since April, one of the fastest drops since the survey started. Cash levels are now at or below 4% assets under management for the 7th consecutive month, the longest streak on record. According to Bank of America, fund managers are the most bullish since July 2021. Meanwhile, the majority of global investors have no downside protection against a large stock market drawdown, the highest percentage since early 2018. Professional investor sentiment is extremely bullish. Wow. Fear and Greed Index drops to extreme fear at 20. Let's actually check it right now. 24. Wow. extreme fear last week. We were neutral at 49. I think we were expecting this. Yeah, I think the one that matches so far is May through July of 2021. So when we check that out, after we look at silver at $98.80, May through July of 2021, when we check that out, May through July of 2021, this is the wrong chart. May through July of 2021. Bam. Right here. May through July of 2021. Look at that. Everyone's talking about, oh my gosh, it's right here. What if it's right here, bro? You ever think of that? What about that? Huh? May through July of 2021. I could draw lines too. You ever think of that? I watched Tyler S earlier, and there was somebody, they like drew on the chart. They're like, Bitcoin is gonna do this. And they drew something like that. And he was like, oh yeah? And he's like, Bitcoin's actually gonna do this. What do you think of that? And it was really funny. The way that he did it was really funny. If you guys haven't already, go follow, go subscribe to Tyler S on YouTube. That's like one of the few, like him and All in Crypto are the only two YouTubers that I like have to watch. When they upload something, I have to watch it because it's funny as hell. Tyler S right here. Bam. Tyler S Crypto. Go check him out. Funny guy. Great stuff. Kind of just a permeable. In like a long-term kind of way. And it's funny. He's a funny guy. Funny dude. We like funny. Giovanni said, JJ, what's the thought process behind buying Roblox today? I did reply to you in Discord. So here's my thing with Roblox. I bought it way back, early, $35 a share. And I held it. And then I held it, and I fumbled it. This is why I don't do anything anymore. I don't sell anything whole. I leave it. I keep a moon bag, whatever. Don't touch my stocks or anything. I sold my Roblox, and then it went to God knows where. Where did it go? It went to freaking $150. So I'm pissed. I bought it at 35 bucks. I literally fumbled because I was impatient back here. I was like, oh, it's not doing anything. How come it didn't do anything? And then it went, exploded. I fumbled a 281% return because I was impatient. So now that it's halfway back to my entry, or double my entry, that's my little punishment. I bought a little bit today. If it goes lower, I will be accumulating. Right now, they seem to be in a dip, like a FUD-driven dip. There's a lot of talks about this AI that like determines your age, how you chat, and they got like some weird KYC. People are talking about it. Everyone's pissed, whatever. I personally believe this is a $300 stock. Not for any reason other than the fact that it is universally loved. Everyone plays it. Everyone has an account. I have an account. My fiance has an account. We play with our daughter all the time. It's hilarious. This is like literally where my daughter met like all of her online friends in Roblox. And it's very, very well moderated, I think is the right word. It's like hard, and there's, like I said, there's FUD right now. There's people that are like, oh my gosh, there's perverts on the Roblox talking to my kid. There's like stupid kids. There are some weirdos, but they do a very good job, like I said, moderating their chat. I would never let my kid play it unless I had checked it out. And this was years ago, like probably 10 years ago. Not 10, maybe like 7, 8 years ago. I went in the chat and I tried to like say certain things and it like blocked it all out. And I was like, wow, this is actually pretty good. You can't get like an address. You can't get names. You can't get phone numbers. Like all the stuff that you would want to block, it blocks. Not only that, they have toys, which are really popular, and Robux. People, their kids like suck the life out of their bank accounts for Robux. So because I have personal experience with it, I feel like it's going to go up. One of the things that Warren Buffett talked about all the time is he didn't buy stocks that he didn't understand. I understand Roblox. I understand Roblox and I understand Reddit. Those are the two stocks that I can just blindly be like, yes, no, you know, I would buy this at this price. I wouldn't buy this at this price because I know the companies. Chrissy has said they do better now at moderating. I feel like personally, I want to have some for long term. It's a free, accessible online game that is universally loved. Very popular on YouTube. There's too many reasons to hold it, in my opinion. As far as I'm concerned, Roblox is the closest I've seen anyone come to the metaverse that everyone was talking about in 2021. Roblox had that years before it was even part of the conversation. If Zuckerberg wanted any chance at anything like that, it is actually free, Chrysius. It is genuine. Like, I've never spent money on Roblox, and I can do everything that everybody else can do. You pay for like shirts and shit, and like in-game junk. It's not like pay to win. It's just like pay to look cool. But people spend money, man. It's crazy. If Zuckerberg wanted any chance at the, I got 3 kids eating Robux for lunch. I believe it. If Zuckerberg wanted any chance at the metaverse thing, he would have bought Roblox right out the gate. If he was taking that serious, he would have bought Roblox. Okay. We talked about. Yeah, I was excited to talk about this. Excuse me, I got excited to talk about Roblox too. Go back. Okay. The Bitcoin thing. It actually makes sense that we are right here, in my opinion. And it kind of makes sense that we would do this, and then we top out maybe at 140, 150, and then we go into bear market. I don't know. I'm just saying. Chrissy has said Meta is trash. Yeah, they kind of fumbled the bag. They really did. I like the Oculus. I do like the Oculus, but that's because they bought it from Oculus Rift. Or, I'm sorry, it's not even called the Oculus anymore. It's the Meta Quest. But that's why it's good. If they would have bought Roblox, they would have a metaverse. I'm getting worked up again. Let's take a look at Meta. Meta. Looks like a little double bottom. What you don't want is that to curl over and continue to the downside. Have we seen anything like this in the chart before? These are always really easy to chart. Oops, let me see. That kind of looks right. Maybe. Maybe you get a little dip to 500 and then continuation, and it kind of checks out. You broke, let's see, you had resistance at 400. Finally broke above it. You didn't quite, you retested 500 here. Maybe you come down and retest 400 and then continue. Or maybe that's crazy and you just hold 600 right here like you did and continue the upside from there. There's several different ways to look at it from a psychological trading standpoint. As of right now, your RSI looks good. Smack dab in the middle. Bullish cross over the moving average. Green dot on the momentum wave on Market Safer. Again, I don't know if Market Safer applies to stocks, but you were way oversold there, and you're continuing to the upside. So maybe it climbs out of the gutter and does good. I don't know. I don't know. I do like that 4 hour though. Looks like it's gaining momentum. I think Google is going to be a big one pretty quickly here. For no reason other than the fact that Apple fumbled AI so bad that they just gave up and decided to partner with Google on it. And Google, by the way, Gemini is, oh my gosh, Gemini is so good. And everyone's talking about Grok and XAI is being dwarfed by Google Gemini. I believe that. I really do. And I use Grok all the time. Grok is cool for like conversations and like gathering data, but that's about it. Gemini does everything really good, from what I've used it for at least. So, healthy competition. Let's go take a look, since we haven't yet, at the coin market cap Fear and Greed. 34. Yesterday was 34 as well. Okay, so it's neutral at regular old Fear. If you guys haven't already and you want to, if anybody wants to do prediction markets, there's a Kalshi referral code in the description. We both get $10 when you sign up there and you start making prediction markets. I think you got to deposit like $20 or something like that. It's fun. Treat it like gambling though if you do end up doing it. Help support the channel. Bitcoin still chilling, 89,883. Circle CEO calls it totally absurd to claim that stablecoin rewards will drain bank deposits and collapse credit markets. I agree. I think that's actually really funny that he said that. Imagine a world, we are literally living in it right now, where stablecoin CEOs and cryptocurrency like leaders are at the World Economic Forum speaking on stage. That is the market that we're in right now. That's kind of insane. And I know it's only January, the biggest concern to me, I kind of had an existential crisis on my way home today. I was thinking about this. I was thinking about this. And we're in 2026 right now, which is great. But once this is over, then we go into 2032, and that's the years of hard times, low prices, good time to buy stocks, corner lots, and whatever. We got 6 years. That's a big ass gap. Like, we had to wait 3 years from 2023 to 2026. That's fine, whatever. So far, 2026 has been amazing for silver and gold and the stock market, which were the assets that were available to buy in 1875 when Samuel Benner created this. I believe this is in a book. But it's just, it's kind of trippy to think that this is going to end. And we're going to get some shitty, probably 2008-esque market, 2032. A little spooky to think about. Next, we've got Kathy Woods, ARK Invest sees Bitcoin reaching $761,900 by 2030, driven by institutional adoption and ETF inflows. Not surprising to see Kathy Wood like permabull. EU Parliament Trade Committee will revisit the U.S. trade deal on Monday. Honestly, that might align with our stupid Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday negotiations going bad. So that's today, tomorrow. And this might be Monday, Tuesday, a deal's made, hooray. Like, they got rid of the EU trade deal, and now they're getting the EU trade deal back on track. That might be it. U.S. macro update. Third quarter GDP rises 4.4% annualized quarter over quarter, estimated 4.3%. Third quarter core PCE rises 2.9% annualized quarter over quarter, estimated 2.9%. Jobless claims 200K in January 17th week, estimated 209K. Interesting. Key takeaways from CZ Binance at the World Economic Forum. 3 growth pillars: tokenization, payments, and AI. Dozens of governments are exploring asset tokenization to unlock liquidity. Crypto is becoming the native payment layer for AI agents. Crypto infrastructure has already handled multi-billion-dollar stress events. One-size-fits-all global crypto rules won't work. Local frameworks matter. Honestly, pretty ballsy for him to show up there and say crypto infrastructure has already handled multi-billion-dollar stress events, considering the fact that the October 10th event is linked to a Binance stablecoin DPEG. I'm just saying, that's a pretty ballsy thing for him to get up on stage and say that. Silver 9876. Chrysius said, have a good night, fam. I'm off to bed. Take it easy, Chrysius. Appreciate you for stopping by. Happy Thursday, my friend. Cheers. All right. Bitcoin up 0.39, chilling. Bullish BlackRock CEO Larry Fink says tokenization is inevitable and the future points toward one common blockchain. What blockchain do you think he's referring to? They're probably going to make their own. Michael Saylor said, thinking about buying more Bitcoin. How much do you think he's buying? What a legend. Trust Wallet now covers gas fees for eligible swaps, allowing transactions even without a native token balance. Indonesia's government says crypto market hit 31 to 32 billion in volume in 2025, generating approximately 47 million in tax revenue from 20.19 million investors. That's crazy. Elon Musk said by the end of the year, we will be selling hundreds of robots to the public by the end of next year. Interesting. Coinbase launches a quantum computing advisory board. The new board will publish research, issue guidance, and respond in real time to quantum advances. Interesting. TikTok US sale cleared by the US and China, with Oracle and Silver Lake leading the investor group. That one's huge. McLaren Racing partners with Hedera to launch Web3-based fan experiences and digital collectibles. Very cool. Elon Musk's XAI recommendations will be great by mid-year and incredible by year's end. I believe him. Elon Musk says AI could surpass individual human intelligence by next year and exceed collective human intelligence by 2030 to 31. Honestly, if that happened and they were like, how do we fix humanity? That would be pretty cool. Gourmet said, good night, guys. Heading out as well. Take it easy, Gourmet Brands of Brooklyn. Appreciate you. Cheers. Happy Thursday, my friend. ChatGPT can be a source of inexpensive legal advice, but the chat logs can also be used against you in court. Using AI chatbots for legal advice matters may put attorney-client privilege at risk, and the chat logs could be used against you in court via Cointelegraph magazine. So be careful out there, guys. Donald Trump sued JP Morgan Chase, Jamie Dimon for $5 billion, alleging politically motivated debanking, which bank denies. That's actually kind of crazy. Bullish Bitwise says crypto entered 2026 with improving fundamentals driven by ETF expansion, a growing stablecoin supercycle, and increasing integration into traditional markets. It's Kwame said, wow. CZ, I'm not going to read his name, says AI will make people jobless while crypto could make it possible to not need a job. Interesting. In 2025, Tether led crypto revenues with $7.4 billion, followed by Circle at $2.4 billion. Wow, that's a huge difference. And Pump Fun at $637 million, according to Crypto Rank. Very cool. Circle CEO Jeremy Allaire says stablecoin adoption is accelerating with 40% annual growth as banks move from pilots to full-scale implementation. Dex Aster has launched season 2. I'm really excited for this. I like the Aster Trading Showdown. Season 2 of its AI Trading Showdown, pitting 70 human traders against 30 AI agents with 10K starting capital each. So far, Team Human is down 3.43%, while Team AI is only down 2.06%. I'm really excited to see where this goes. Team prizes, human champion gets 30K. Winning team gets 50 plus 50. Other team gets 20K. What does that mean? Like the losing team? It's kind of funny. Insights. According to Protocol Theory, Gen Z Americans trust crypto more than banks and prioritize control. A shift now beginning to influence U.S. mortgage policy. Hell yeah. The U.S. CFTC and SEC will hold a joint event on harmonization and U.S. financial leadership in the crypto era on January 27th at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Gold has done what Bitcoin was supposed to do. Now we're all depressed and broke. This one was just a funny post. Don't buy Bitcoin if you can't hold it for 5 years. Absolutely. It should be a long-term investment, guys. Not financial advice, though. I bought Bitcoin at 3K. I bought Bitcoin at 69K. I bought Bitcoin at 16K. I bought Bitcoin at 120K. I'm buying Bitcoin at any price. What a freaking legend. Danny Marquise posted Coinbase. I know many don't see it, but Bitcoin and crypto have been written off by almost everybody at this point, which means it's probably a good time to be positioned in them. Nobody cared about Bitcoin in the 70s, so many calls for lower. Ethereum at 1500, you would have thought it was a dead chain. Coin at 140, then it proceeded to 3x through July. Similar setup in front of us right now, in my opinion. The following strength indicators on the weekly have all been reset. TMO, DSS, Brisser, Williams, percentage R, and RSI. I don't know what any of those are except for RSI. Price is slightly below Ichimoku Cloud. I know that one too. which has preceded every massive reversal since 2024. In other words, we are nearing the end of this correction with selling volume declining and weakening. Compression is as tight as it can be, and there's a lot of room to the upside now for expansion. Don't be surprised to see a 2x from current levels in 2026. Damn. I like this theory. In practice, I don't know. I would like to see Coinbase become more like a bank and a broker beforehand, but then it might be too late. It's probably a good time to buy this for long term. I just don't know if they're gonna hold up as much as they want to. Personally, at this point for crypto exposure, I would just rather buy crypto. But Coinbase, I feel like, has the biggest foothold in order for potential to become the everything app that everyone wants to be so bad right now, besides X. The same guy that posted that really funny depressed joke earlier posted, "Gold is so sustainable. Look at this perfect price action over the last 2 years with 0 pullbacks. Bitcoin is going to see some of the most effed up daily candles when money starts to rotate over. Digital gold over physical always." That's a crazy thing to say when gold and silver are heavily outperforming the entire cryptocurrency market at the moment. Though, maybe we're seeing a rotation. I don't know. That'd be kind of crazy. You've seen crazier things. I'm going to open up a very small trade. What is happening? Why is it taking so long? I guess I'll leave that there. Okay. Next, billionaire Ray Dalio said the current monetary order is breaking down and that fiat is no longer a central bank asset. Bitcoin is the solution. He did not say Bitcoin is the solution. By the way, they added that in this post, but hell yeah. Whale Satoshi posted altcoin season 3.0 loading. Be ready. Again, guys, we don't want to be caught at all-time highs being like, oh, I should buy some altcoins. We want to be positioned right now. I'm not saying it can't go lower, but if it goes higher from now, we want to be in now. So that's where I'm at personally. We did the math earlier. We are technically 33% into the bear market if we are in a 1 year long, 12-month long bear market. So I have no reason to believe otherwise. So I'm accumulating, continuing. Because number go up. We know number go up. Over a long period of time, number go up no matter what. Mr. Crypto Whale posted 2017, Russell 2000 breaks all-time high. Altcoins explode. 2021, Russell 2000 breaks all-time high. Alt season kicks off. 2026, Russell 2000 just printed a new all-time high at 2700. You see the pattern? Alt season might be closer than everyone thinks. And that, my friends, would be the ultimate Max Payne scenario, is if everyone was sidelined and shit went crazy. It's Kwame said, buy the blood? Hell yeah. Crypto Buffett said SanDisk Corporation. This one's crazy metric. I'm kind of pissed that I missed this. SanDisk Corporation, 18x in 10 months. Why the F did I buy altcoins instead? 18x in 12 months. Wow. That's crazy. U.S. Treasury buys back 2.8 billion of their own debt. Microsoft continues to plunge below its 200-day moving average. Apple on track for its 8th consecutive red week, its longest losing streak since May 2022. Microsoft forms a death cross for the first time since February. The last one sent shares falling by more than 13% over the next 6 weeks. Wow. Target forms a golden cross for the first time since October 2024. The last one didn't work out too good. Interesting. U.S. housing market. Pending home sales fall to lowest level ever recorded. This is awesome. I hope the housing market gets flooded with inventory and I get a FU cheap house. Gold jumps to $4,900 for the first time in history. Silver hits $96 for the first time in history, which is now, by the way, $98.67, which is insane. Intel dumped, even though they had higher than expected earnings. That was interesting. GameStop insider trading alert. This was a couple of days ago, I think, unless I just read it last night and I felt like I had that much sleep. CEO Ryan Cohen bought $21.3 million worth of GameStop shares this week. U.S. Treasury buys back another $2 billion of their own debt. That makes $4.8 billion over the last 2 days. Number go up, guys. Money printer go burr. We got another reminder of the rare tech dev post now from 7 days ago. He said, we're at the point in the business cycle where bullish div reversal momentum is decidedly building, which has signaled every one of its major reversals in the last 25 years, including after the 2000 dot-com bubble and the 2008 financial crisis. Since Bitcoin existed, those reversals have triggered its parabolic runs. We have not seen a parabolic run for Bitcoin yet. And everyone goes, oh, what do you mean? It literally went from 20K to 120K. You are correct, but it did that over the course of like 4 years. That is the opposite of a parabolic run. This is not a parabolic run. That is a slow grind up. This right here, that was 2021. That was a parabolic run right there. This is like a, it took forever and very slowly just reached a point at 126K or whatever. It's just, none of it looks like a blow off top to me in any way, shape, or form. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'll be wrong. Another update, our Kobe SE letter. Key events this week. The last one remaining today, we got the US Q3 2025 GDP data and the November PCE inflation data. Tomorrow, Friday, we get the January S&P global PMI data. 10% of S&P 500 companies report earnings this week. Pretty sure we got through all of that. And that is it. Portfolio update. The 1K to 10K Grok portfolio currently down 529, 52.9%. Best performer is Solana, down 24. Worst performers, Aptos, down 74. Then we got the meme coin portfolio, currently down 133. Is this a $500 portfolio? No, it is not. This was wow. Okay, I'm sorry. This portfolio is down $622 or 62.2%. Best performer is Doge, currently down 94. Worst performers, Giga Chad, down 171. Narrative portfolio, currently down 200, even, very nice, 40%. Best performer here is Tau, only down 17. Worst performer is VeChain, down 63. And last but not least, the knife catching portfolio, currently down 458, of 45.8%. Best performer Chainlink, down 19. Worst performer Avalanche, down 65. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Bitcoin looking good. It looks good. Looks good. I don't know if it's gonna break down, but it looks good. $89,971.76. ETH, 2970, slowly grinding up. Solana, 128.79, slowly grinding up. Total 3 looks good. Let's go check total 2 really quick. Total 2 looks good as well. 1.2 trillion. We're holding above 1, which is making me happy. I'm very happy about that. And then total crypto market cap, 3 trillion. We are holding 3 trillion here as well. The fractal looks intact. We'll see where we end up. Silver, 98.57. I don't know. Do we wake up tomorrow to silver having breached $100? That'd be kind of crazy. I asked you guys, we got 8 votes. I said, do you think silver actually breaks, not just a touch, $100 today? 62% of you said no. It's Kwame said, I hope we have a green weekend. I'm 50-50 on that. I hope we have a volatile weekend. That's what I'll hope for. Because the boring weekends are the ones that you can't trade and they suck. Green is cool, but then we dump on Monday and everyone's like, oh my gosh, it's a bear market all over again. They're all surprised every single time. It's the same thing every week. But the sentiment is just atrocious, dude. Everyone's like, everyone's moping around. Do like go touch grass, man. Have a movie marathon or something. Go on a date. Spend time with your wife, kids, husband, whatever, whatever relationship you're in. Go, hang out with your parents for the day. Take a step back if it's that depressing. Anyways, guys, as always, when Bitcoin or the rest of the market, silver, stock market, starts to do anything crazy, I will hop back on. Otherwise, I will see you all tomorrow. I appreciate you guys for sticking around. Don't forget to smash the like button on your way out. Happy Thursday and good night.